The horizon is rarely a destination. It is a border wall constructed of collective anxieties. And in The Hoping Well, Michael Stewart delivers a haunting, meticulously layered, and psychologically jagged masterpiece that transmutes the concept of folklore into a brutal, claustrophobic reality. This isn't a story of whimsical pastoral discovery. It is a rapid-fire, deeply intense plunge into the logistical nightmare of maintaining sanity in a region where the geography itself seems to be breathing with a hostile, ancient intent. The perilous collision between a solitary protagonist's search for peace and the absolute, unchecked malice of a community that guards its dark history with a fanatical, collective silence. And the terrifying truth that when you look into a well, you don't just see your own reflection, you inherit the weight of everything that has been buried there to be forgotten. Stewart hooks the audience instantly by constructing a high-stakes, hyper-focused trap. An individual, seeking refuge from a fractured modern life, finds themselves trapped in a locale where the local myths are not merely stories, but active, reality-warping protocols that demand a price for every whispered hope. The narrative center zeroes in on the protagonist's methodical, high-pressure descent into the well, a state of hyper-rational observation that forces them to parse the fundamental, reality-rewriting intent of the community's ancient rituals. As they traverse the oppressive, mist-shrouded lanes of the isolated village and the dangerously shifting, memory-saturated depths of the landscape, they realize that their arrival is not merely a chance occurrence. It is a catalyst that is triggering a systemic, regional reset. The investigation into the origin of the Hoping Well legend quickly escalates into a dangerous, high-stakes tactical chess match as they discover that the entire community has been covertly funded by the very entity that dwells beneath the stones. Forced to juggle the logistical nightmare of managing a rapidly decaying, reality-bending research project, the constant, suffocating threat of archival erasure, and the mounting, undeniable encounter with the cost of their own, burgeoning insight, they must synthesize a new way of existing, one built on tactical linguistics, radical, improvised spiritual navigation, and an unyielding, purely human refusal to let the truth be redacted by the void's relentless, physics-enforcing machinery. Stewart's writing style is unapologetically atmospheric, machine-gun fast, and saturated with an intense, authentic blend of folkloric scientific jargon, sharp, cynical intellectual wit, and high-stakes environmental dread. He builds exceptional structural tension by pairing the mundane, aching routines of survival, cross-referencing local histories, deciphering forbidden, star-aligned texts, and enduring the quiet, crushing weight of constant, vigilant isolation, with the chaotic, nightmare-filled assaults of the village's truth-guarding entities. The story moves forward with a relentless, momentum-driven energy, turning routine analytical probes, calculated maneuvers through the village's secret mud-caked basements, and tense, high-stakes standoffs with lethal, logic-warping figures into pulse-pounding steps closer to an inevitable, reality-defining confrontation. The presentation thrives on this sharp analytical focus, making every discovered anomaly, every executed reality stabilization command, and every deep-setted fear confronted feel like a high-stakes victory for the human spirit. What makes The Hoping Well an exceptional entry in the modern psychological thriller canon is Stewart's unparalleled ability to develop a highly compelling, logic-driven outsider whose cognitive discipline is treated as a supreme navigational asset rather than a tragic, fading memory. Watch as they transform their experience with obscure, well-bound data into a compass, learning to navigate the chaotic landscape to outmaneuver a tower that operates with absolute, terrifying precision. As the structural walls of their reality begin to collapse and the true scope of the well danger is exposed, the pacing transforms into a breathless, heart-pounding race to maintain the shred of truth they carry before their consciousness is permanently unstitched by the region's relentless, physics-enforcing machinery. The final act is an absolute masterclass in suspense, delivering a barrage of explosive realizations, shattered paradigms, and a spectacular, jaw-dropping climax that completely leaves the reader thoroughly stunned. For fans of thrillers demanding a brilliant, character-driven, and masterfully paced exploration of physics and folklore imperialism, this book delivers an unforgettable shock.